5 mistakes killing your credit repair. The first mistake may surprise you. On social media, you will hear people advise to file your consumer complaint directly to the CFPB to get quick response from the credit bureaus to have something deleted. That is a mistake. Once you go to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's website, better known as the CFPB, you will notice in the second paragraph, most companies respond within 15 days. That contradicts what you hear on social media stating that a credit bureau or a company will respond and have an item removed in 24, 48, 72, or 4 days. That does not occur. Why? When you start your credit repair process, you do not start with the CFPB. And here's why. We're going to go and see what John did. John has a late payment being reported by Experian on his Experian credit report by Bank of America. So what did John do? He listened to someone on social media. He went to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, filed a complaint, and when he did that, here's a caveat. When you file a complaint on the CFPB's website as your first round in disputes directly with the credit bureaus have up to 60 days to respond. So once he did that, after 50 days, Experian responded. And this is what they stated. We have received notice from the CFPB regarding a consumer complaint filed on September 15th, 2025, concerning the reporting of a late payment by Bank of America on your Experian credit report. Experian takes consumer disputes and CFPB referrals seriously. We have reviewed the information provided to us through the CFPB referral and recorded the reference number from the CFPB in the above in our files. If you have any additional information or documentation you would like to provide us in this matter, please provide it in writing at the current address below. Experian, P.O. Box 9554, Allen, Texas 75013. What did they just tell John? They told him he has to mail his dispute. How long did he have to wait? Almost 2 months to find out he needs to start the dispute process with a written dispute. That is always the first step. You always mail your dispute directly to the credit bureaus. That enacts your consumer rights given to you under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, what is the next mistake? He sent a letter directly to the credit bureau, Experian, disputing the late payment. The only thing he did was send the letter, he signed it, and he did not include the right documentation because Experian responded with this. We received your investigation request. Please verify your identity. Provide a copy of a government-issued ID, a current utility bill to verify your address, a copy of your Social Security card or your W-2 or tax return. Submit that to verify your identity to the address P.O. Box 9554, Allen, Texas 75013. So, anytime you mail your dispute in the first round, include a copy of your driver's license, current utility bill, and copy of your Social Security card or your tax return or your W-2. That always has to be included in your first round of dispute. Now, what is the next mistake? The third mistake commonly made is when you mail your dispute, you send it first class mail. When you do that, you never know when the letter has been received and you don't know when the clock starts ticking. What do I mean when I say clock ticking? Credit bureaus have up to 30 days to respond and provide results for your investigation request or your dispute of an item being reported on your credit report. So what should you send and how should you mail your letter? Always mail your letter with tracking information either by priority mail or certified mail so you have proof of receipt. Upon receipt of that letter, that is when the 30-day clock starts. When you have proof of receipt, you have the information necessary to file a CFPB complaint and exercise your consumer rights to get an item removed. Without that documentation and proof of receipt, you don't know how long you have or they have had your letter, so you cannot escalate it based upon the fact that they failed to investigate your dispute within the 30-day time period. What is the other mistake many people make when you are submitting your first round of disputes? This is a deadly mistake. If you notice, John has collections, charge-offs, and hard inquiries and late payments all on one dispute letter. That is a mistake, because if you're using USC codes, or even if you're doing a handwritten dispute letter, categories are different. The way you dispute a charge-off, collection, and a late payment are going to be different than the way you dispute a hard inquiry. There are going to be different USC codes and different methods to have those items removed. When you combine it all on one letter, if one of the items is verified, typically they'll state that all the items were verified as yours. This slows down the process and makes it much harder to escalate and show violations of your consumer rights, because each particular item category, if the credit bureaus violate your consumer rights, you need method of verification, and the method of verification for each one is different. So always separate categories. So if you're going to dispute a charge-off, make sure it's on its own letter. If you're going to dispute a collection, its own separate letter. Late payments, hard inquiries, own letter. And think about this. Disputing a hard inquiry, say it's over 2 years old, you simply state that it's over the statute of limitations. But having a 2-year-old collection, that can report up to 7 years, so you can't use that same dispute tactic or technique. Always separate categories. Now, the last mistake that typically is made, the fifth mistake, is on your letter, you want to request, I want my investigation results provided to me in writing. Why is that so critical? TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax will typically, if you go to their website to get your free credit report, will respond to your disputes via email. That means you are not alerted to when you receive the results, and it's much harder to escalate to show that they violated your consumer rights when it's by email. When it's by mail, U.S. Postal Mail, you have several advantages. They have 30 days to respond. So that means they have to take into account mail time. Also, they have to make sure they provide the correct response to you in writing. When they do this via email, they can send you multiple investigation results and they can update them instantly. When you do it, when they have to do it by writing, it increases the chances of them making a mistake, so you can get that item permanently deleted. Because remember, it can be reporting accurately, But if they fail to do their job and adhere to your consumer rights, that item must be deleted. So those are the 5 most common mistakes that kill credit repair and increase the opportunities for the credit bureaus to continue to report those negative items on your credit report. Make sure you follow and share this video, because the next video, I'm gonna show you how to take step by step to start your credit repair journey and how to escalate and how to get items deleted. Thank you.